So, it seems like Capcom have got a lot in store for upcoming content for the Monster Hunter World area. And I'll show you why. The first area is with the commander and the field team leader, also voice acted by Matthew Mercer. You'll see a giant table there with a map on there. It's half covered though, sadly, so you want to head to your house. No, not the rich snobby house. Ain't no rich snob. It's all about the one with the aquarium in. Just left of the aquarium is a giant map. And it looks familiar, doesn't it? If you go to your world map and actually put them 2 and 2 together, you can see on the left-hand side, that is the world map what you've explored. But on the right side, it's completely undiscovered. Leaving me to think that Capcom, as I said before, have got a lot in store for this game. So come with me to see what might be in store for the future of Monster Hunter World. Kind of like a theory video, speculation video. They're a lot of fun to do. Let's get on with it, shall we? But I'm not going to do this video alone. I'm going to be joined by the lovely Wolfy Melons.
Oh.
Yes, I want to take her take on it because it's good to have two people's opinions on the returning maps, because it's been pretty good to see what Monster Hunter World has, what Capcom has got in store for us for the future of Monster Hunter World. For popular demand, I've seen a lot of people talk about. I even did a voting thing on YouTube, and you guys, well, you guys weren't harsh, were you, at all? Literally, all the maps have got like 5% voting. So that's going to be the snow maps.
I hope they bring one in.
I hope they bring one in. Because there is a lacking of everything, really, for ice weapons. The only ice monster we have is Lagiana, and that's it.
I have to add quite a lot, to be fair, because there really isn't much.
There really isn't much, like, monster-wise and area-wise. And this is probably when they're going to add, most likely. I'm assuming this will probably be maybe the next map. If they don't bring this new map in first, I'd be very surprised and raise a huge eyebrow to Capcom, going, really, guys? You're not adding a snow map now? And it's probably going to add, like, you know, hot drinks. To the newcomers who don't know what hot drinks are, I'm going to pass it to Wolfy to actually explain what hot drinks do.
Well, hot drinks keep you warm in cold places. Well, obviously we have cold drinks already. You know, back in the day, to make you sound really old now, back in my day, we had hot drinks to keep you warm in cold places. Otherwise, your stamina would just go down really quick.
Yeah, they're opposites. The cold drinks affect your health. If you don't have a cold drink, your health drops down slowly. And then stamina is basically, for hot drinks, it's basically the opposite, so it affects your stamina. So if you are using a weapon like, for instance, a hammer or dual blades, you know, weapons that really do affect stamina, you really don't want to take that risk. So always remember to drink hot drinks. For these maps, they could probably add some really interesting monsters as well. Like, for instance, they could, you know, bring Koshala Deora there, because, heck, he's an ice monster. I'm going to pass it again to Wolfy. What monsters do you want to see for the snow maps?
Considering you mentioned Kushala, you could also then have rusted Kushala as well.
Ooh, a sub-vari of him, yes.
I think having Eucanlos there, because he's a really quite a big, exciting fight. You know, have your own little arena for him. And then obviously your favourite, Zamtrios.
Oh my god,
he can come back. Yeah, we could bring back Barioth.
Yep, he's a
cool
God, monster.
Literally.
Barioth is an awesome monster. And also, you could probably add a subspecies to Barioth, because there's actually one called the Jade Barioth. Essentially, instead of being brown, he's blue. And he just runs around pushing snow everywhere. He's a really cool monster. Plus, being in snow maps, there's lots and lots of caves. So, cave dweller monsters like the classic Kezu or Giganox.
One you've forgotten, though, you could also have Lagombi as well.
Good old Lagombi. How about some apes? How about the
Blangonga?
Yeah, add the Blangonga would be a really cool idea. Actually, good point, actually. Wolfy Melons actually brought this up. A good old, overgrown, very smelly, very wet and damp swamp.
Definitely. I really want to see a swamp map, because they could do a lot with it. Just somewhere really spooky.
Very gloomy, very spooky, very poisony. Very damp, very miserable. You know, basically what England is.
Just the England map.
It is England map, just raining all the time. But they can actually add some really good areas to the monsters to these map, because, like I said, in the snow map, there's no crabs, and essentially, but in these swamp maps, you tend to get a lot of crabs, like Hermitors, and you get Shogun Hermitors, or heck, even whatever new monsters they decide to bring to this thing as well. And also being full of caves, mentioned before, cave dwellers.
And flashbacks to lots of ire prey spitting poison at you in the cave.
Oh my god.
In like the original Monster Hunter.
And like lots of mist, very hard to see, very, you know, I just said very gloomy.
You suddenly see a monster just coming out the mist, like you can't see when it's, like it makes me think of Gypsaros when it used to run around the map and you didn't quite see where it was.
You just heard him clucking around like a turkey. And let's move on to the next map. I'm not sure I might get it in the comment, but it is a desert map. And I'm going to say no, it's not. How about an actual desert for Monster Hunter World because let's
A big
face it.
desert.
Let's face it, right? The Wildspire Waste isn't a desert. Yes, it has sand, but that's like pretty much me buying sand and putting it in my back garden.
No, it's not. Well, it's not a desert as in, I suppose, the really big desert areas that we had
Wide
in older
open
games.
spaces. Because I watched a video and someone was like, "Oh, I would like to see the Cephadrome in the Wildspire Waste," and it's like, no, Cephadrome would never go there. It's too tight. It's too close quarters in the sandy areas.
As I was saying, like the only sandy areas you've got, like obviously the cave bits where the Diablos are, and a little bit outside, and that's kind of it. There's no like flat open plain.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly. Like, a huge desert. In traditional sort of deserts of Monster Hunter, you don't take cool drinks in the Wildspire Waste, but in traditional Monster Hunter, you have to take cool drinks with you because, it's a desert.
If it was in the middle of the day, you'd need to take a cool drink, and at night you'd need a hot drink.
And they can add some really cool monster to these areas. Like, they can bring returning monsters, and they can bring some of the monsters from Monster Hunter World into these maps. Maybe Diablos, heck, maybe even Mobolos will come back into this one. That'd be really freaking cool.
Oh,
Mobolos.
Mobolos hasn't been around for a long time.
Yeah, the last time I saw him was for you, bless him, poor monster. And, they could actually bring back the Nebelsnarf or Cephadrome. Again, crabs, more crabs monsters, like the Hermitaurs, because Hermitaur loves the desert map. Oh, yeah, and of course, as I mentioned, probably from the last 2 maps, caves. Lots of caves, because you got to keep cool, man.
The original desert maps were always surrounded with lots of caves, little caves you could go in, which had like monster nests in, and they had places to gather bugs and to fish, like all around the outside.
But now we're going to segue into another map, and that's going to be, how about an actual volcano map?
Proper one.
Like, yeah, the Elder Recess is a cool map. I really like the map. It's a really cool design with like shards of crystals going everywhere. But this map is designed to bring Elder Dragons to the area. Yes, you have Dodugama, Oregon, Blue Rathalos, and Lava Seoth there as well. An actual volcano map where there's a giant sort of like, there's a river of lava going through the map, and it gets progressively hotter, not just in little zones. Like, in all the old monster levels, essentially, more than 75% of the map, you need cool drinks. You could not go out into their maps without a cool drink. Like,
initially when you start at the bottom of the volcano, you had the kind of lava rock kind of areas. It was very rocky and covered in ash, and you didn't really need cool drinks there. But then as soon as you were, going up towards the volcano, you just needed cool drinks up there.
And in these maps, you can have some really, really amazing monsters come back to Monster Hunter World. Probably not a lot of them will come back, but some classic ones. Brachydios. He is a phenomenal monster.
Really, really fun monster to have back because his fight is really exciting. What about everybody's favourite, laser beams, Gravios?
And what about baby Gravios? Pasirios.
Yeah.
Pasirios.
No, I think a monster like that, because obviously he hides, doesn't he, in the ground, and he looks like a stack of, you get like, Pasirios looks like a little stack of rocks.
Yep. Cool ass monster.
That'd be really, really cool.
How about the really cool monster, Egnactor? Good old lava duck. Cool monster. And I'm not mentioning this throughout the whole videos, right? But all these monsters we mentioned, what about the turf wars? How cool would they be seeing Return of Monsters do some turf war action?
Oh my goodness. Turf war
slamming on down, like on the Egnactor's face or something.
Slime.
Bush. Yeah, volcano map. And also, maybe it won't happen because you can make the Eternal Schisms, but in previous titles, you can make something cool. You can mine something called the Ancient Shards. It's kind of like a roll of the dice if you got a good weapon or not. But essentially, you can get one called the Ancient Shard weapons, and they are godly cool looking weapons. I think everyone's favourite is the giant greatsword one. I can't remember off the top of me what it's called.
It's Epitaph.
The Ancient Epitaph greatsword, and I didn't have to edit this out because I was looking for the greatsword, what it actually was called, and I didn't have to tell Wolfy Melons how I actually spelled that because I'm really dyslexic. But this weapon is godly. I put it on the screen now. It's a really cool greatsword with a high amount of damage and a massive amount of dragon.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to bring those back, and just for a fan favourite, we could just have powder stone deliveries too.
No!
with Basil Goose running around.
What's wrong with you? No, we're moving on now. Holy crap. What's wrong with you? And lastly, it's just maybe a little side thing. that yes, we travel, the company do travel from going to the old world to the new world, exploring new riches and new monsters and stuff. But how about there was an actual civilization there once upon a time, hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years ago, like a massive tower you can climb with a massive monster guarding some stuff at the top as well. It's ancient civilization long ago, and there might be some hieroglyphs. That's the thing. We can see hieroglyphs, maybe carvings of like monsters of like an old fight happening years ago. Yeah, the monsters you fight here are going to be really, really tough.
I totally know which map you mean. With the cool music as well. Get the cool music.
And like, you can have like, when you do these maps, you can have like a battleground map and you can fight like huge elder dragons, possibly, Fatalis. That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, and obviously you could have Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian as well. It'd be kind of exciting.
Well, yeah, they're iconic to these sort of maps. When you fight Silver or Gold Rathian, they're always on top of this tower or an ancient battleground. They're always somewhere like where there was civilization once upon a time. I mean, heck, they probably won't ever do these maps as well. Because in a good way, how alien these maps are in Monster Hunter World are. It'd be interesting to see what they do. Like, heck, look at Coral Highlands.
But yeah, put it this way, if you think of Coral Highlands and Rotten Vale, it's like nothing. I know that 4 Ultimate had some unusual maps. You had like the Sunken Hollow kind of combinations, weren't they, of different sort of types of areas.
To these maps. The Rotten Vale and Coral Highlands kind of like the reputation of heaven and hell. That's why I've always looked at it. So
yeah,
these maps are probably saying now will never, ever, ever come out, but they might have a little spin like it's a snow map, but it's this, or maybe it's the volcano map, but it's that. So it'll be interesting to see what Capcom actually do pull out, because I'm looking forward to it when they actually do it. Well, I think we pretty much covered everything. Is there anything else you want to add, Wolfy? Do you want to promote? You want to say where you are and your channel, where it is and stuff?
No, I was just saying. I'm over 8,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. And my target would be, can we get to 10k? Because that would be insane.
That'd be pretty cool. So
that'd be amazing.
If you do want to go check out Wolfy Melons, she is a pianist for Monster Hunter music only. If you got any recommendations for her to do, go to her channel or heck follow her on Twitter. All the information I'll put in the description below. But that is pretty much everything, guys. I would love to know what you guys think of this and what you want to see in the upcoming World of Monster Hunter World, like new maps, new monsters and stuff. And that's everything, guys. Take care of yourself and happy hunting.
Video. See you later.
Welcome, one and all, to the limited time offer we have for you. Are you naked and want some new clothing? Well, head on down to Teesprings with Sohokide's merchandise. It's only available to the 1st of June and is limited stock, so come down while you can. We have anything from t-shirts, hoodies, women t-shirts, and sweatshirts, all in a array of colors of blue, black, white, and red. Limited time offer, guys. Get them while they're hot.